Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, folks, to another edition of BKP Politics. I'm your host, the BKP. And, I know if you're new to the show, hang tight. There it is, December 8th. What is December 8th? What does that mean to us? It's Safe Harbor Day. Yeah, Safe Harbor Day. That's what the media is calling today. Joe Biden is sweating. He will stay in the basement all morning, all afternoon. He will say, is December 8th over? Because today is supposed to be the day that all of the legal action is supposed to be settled. So I think it's December 14th. The electors could meet and cast their vote for the next president of the United States. So it's December 8th. There are all the ways, okay, to get in touch with our show. You could always text the show, email me, social media, follow the show. I'm your host, BKP Politics. Now, for our regular viewers, just indulge me just a second, please, okay? Yes, I put the glasses on and, I got my sport coat. The big guy could be watching today. I got it. I have to be ready. The big guy could be watching today because we have an exclusive interview with Georgia House Speaker David Ralston. And at 9:30, Georgia House Speaker David Ralston is going to share with you and I together at the same time that 15-minute conversation that he had with the President of the United States right here on this show yesterday. The big guy, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, called House Speaker David Ralston. What did he ask him? What did they talk about here at 9:30? So indulge me a minute because I think I think we may have new viewers today. Okay. So if you are a new viewer, I will do this very quickly. We have our Constitution that we never, don't go out without it. We always have our Constitution. We have a Trump hat. I do support the President of the United States. I have supported the President of the United States ever since that escalator thing, okay, where he came down the escalator, Trump Tower. So I do support the President of the United States. So we have our Trump hat. We have our Bill of Rights. Baseball, All-American game. Our Blue Lives Matter flag is right here. Right behind it is an American flag I have to get out. This is my hat from Fort Worth, Texas. And yes, it says George Strait. This is my flag that says MAGA. It's a Trump flag. I did attend a peaceful protest. Right here is my badge down in Macon. Stay with me. American flag, Trump, make America great, Trump, Pence. And quickly, indulge me, just another 30 seconds, okay? I have my Ronald Reagan calendar. I went to the Reagan Museum. I love that. Ronald Reagan calendar. And yes, that says Ross Perot, but I have a lot of buttons, and that goes in the Wayback Machine. My mom gave me that. My mom gave it to me. Come on, get off my back. Anyhow, so that being said, let's move along. Yes, Georgia is on the president's mind. I have said that January 5th will be it'll be a big day here. Now I know, wait a minute, what's January 5th? It's election day in Georgia, folks. Yes, we have another election. 2 senators are on the ballot. Well, 4 candidates and 2 sitting senators, Senator Kelly Loeffler and Senator David Perdue. And by the way, we're going to play about 3.5 minutes. I had an opportunity to sit down with Senator David Perdue yesterday, one-on-one in the campaign bus. And we went in the campaign bus. We sat down. I got about 10 minutes with the senator. I enjoyed it. We had a good conversation. And I wanted him to reiterate his support for the president. Okay. Now, there has been some surrounding questions about comments he made in, I think, a Washington Post interview or something like that about, maybe, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Biden being friendly. And I understand that. I was a little iffy on that interview myself with Senator David Perdue, but I wanted him to reiterate it. We wanted to hear exactly if he supported the president and supported the president in his efforts on trying to correct the election, not overturn it, Now, if you're new here, we don't use words like overturn the election because we don't feel we're trying to overturn results. Remember, we talk about the word results. We don't feel we're trying to overturn results. We feel we're trying to correct the election. Okay, get the correct results. I do feel, if you're new to the show, that the election is a fraudulent election. Okay, and but moving along, I got about 10 minutes with Senator Perdue, and I wanted him to reiterate his support for the president, and he also goes into his decision that he made to ask for Secretary Brad Raffensperger, that's Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger's resignation. We'll play that later. But January 5th is a big day here in Georgia, and because it's election day again, and it will determine the control of the Senate. And then January 6th, don't leave us, nation. Now, all eyes are on Georgia. All eyes are on Georgia, right? Now, Secretary of State of Georgia ratified the election once again for the third time. I get once again, okay, but for the third time for Joe Biden here in Georgia. So all eyes are on Georgia as January 5th comes for control of the Senate. We're going to discuss that in a little bit. But what you want to do is you want to come back January 6th. Don't leave us. Because January 6th, that's where all the infighting that they're trying to keep under a hat in the Georgia Republican Party, January 6th is when it breaks wide open. There's no reason to not come out and just let it go after that. And it will right here. So, and who are some of the players? So let's go over a couple things. I want to talk about this, and we're going to do this. And you don't want to leave. We're going to do this in just a minute, and it's going to be an in-depth segment. Give me number 4, okay? Now, we're going to play part of a video from last week, okay? Now, America, you focused in, and I'm talking to all of America because I think we have some really great national viewership this morning and will throughout the show. But America, you tuned in last Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? When was Rudy here with the COVID? When did I'm just having fun? The media, Rudy and his traveling COVID team. When was he here? Thursday? Maybe yes, Thursday. Okay, but anyhow, there was a morning. Now listen to me very close. There was a morning Senate committee hearing and an afternoon Senate committee hearing. Now, to me, the explosive afternoon with the video of the boxes or suitcases or whatever we've called them being pulled out from under the table after everybody left the room, that has really blown up everywhere. And we get it here. But what I'm not hearing anything about is the first half of the day. In fact, one state senator said to me, well, the first half we're going to have, Germany. That's I forget his first name, but the attorney for the Secretary of State's office is going to come in. Secretary of State didn't come in, Brad Raffensperger. Then we're going to have Gabriel Sterling, the never Trumper that we know all efforts were to stop Trump, right? Remember that. And then we're going to have a couple other people come in from Fulton County. But I was told the morning would be uneventful. The morning would be uneventful is what I was told, okay? So there is, to me, as big a question in the morning as the suitcases in the afternoon. You see, this is State Farm Arena, home of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I have said on this show before, I would like to call down the State Farm Arena and ask, hey, can I have the place for 30 days? What's a 30-day lease, for the place? Concerts, monster truck, whatever. What's a 30-day lease? What would it cost me? right? I need everything. I need the security cameras. I need lights. I need water. I need everything. 30 days. Don't believe for 1 minute that that place was free of charge. Who paid for it? Do you know this guy right here, number 5? And we'll get back to this in a minute. This is going to be a full segment, okay? Because Emily, when I go back, we're going to call this a full segment. We're going to start another. We're going to start another segment. I know you got our opener here. This is Chairman Rob Pitts, Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Do you know Chairman Pitts? Well, you're going to meet him today. There's a lot we want to talk about, a lot. Because let me show you this. Number 6. No, the Georgia vote counting video was not debunked, not even close. A big tech backed, now pay attention to big tech backed, fact checking outfit claimed it was debunked. It's not even close to debunked, folks. No, not even close. Absolutely not. Now, really quickly, I want to show you this, number 57. Today is Safe Harbor Day, right? And this is, I get up this morning at 3:30 in the morning. Yes, I did. I got up at 3:30 a.m. I don't know why I did that today, but maybe because this is a really big show. Did I ask for 57? Says, I'm sorry. Sometimes there it is. Thank you, Emily. All right. Texas sues Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin at the Supreme Court over election rules. Election rules. Now, remember this, election rules. Now, when we get Georgia House Speaker David Ralston on the show, if you're new to the show, I think it was April 1st, and it wasn't April Fool's. Remember, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, okay, of Georgia, changed the election rules in March. And that is the uproar. Everybody is roaring over him signing an agreement with Democrats back in March. Right here on this show, April 1st, we made national news. It blew up everywhere. It was on the Hill, I think, a bunch of national websites. It was my interview with who else? House Speaker David Ralston. We're going to talk about that when we get him on here, because he said in April that was a legislative decision, Now, Georgia is being sued over these election rules. Watch and see. Not January, December 8th. December 8th may go down as a very, very big day. Big day. So let's go through some tweets, because I understand Georgia is on President Trump's mind. So let's run through some quick tweets. And I will say this, Georgia House Speaker David Ralston has not made the president's tweet list yet. 25. Georgia is watching. 25. Okay. So Donald J. Trump has a major falling out. Do you think President Donald J. Trump will play a big part, a role in the 2022 elections in Georgia when it comes to governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state? Just saying. Georgia is watching. Now, these are the Dominion vote flip. Remember Ware County. When we talk about Ware County, remember that, okay? Number 26, Georgia is on the president's mind again today. Number 26, right after our friend Jeff Duncan, Jeffrey, as the president calls him, Jeffrey. Number 26, Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, a rhino, never Trumper, who got himself elected as lieutenant governor by falsely claiming to be a pro-Trump. I can see the anti-Jeff Duncan tweets now for the 2022 Georgia. too dumb or corrupt. Jeffrey, let me just say something. You have made it somewhere. I just don't think that's where you wanted to land. I don't think in Republican primaries you can get quite enough. George Hamilton, you ever see Jeffrey? Is it George Hamilton that had the way too much tan? I mean, over tan, whatever, in the tanning booth one too many days, right? This is Jeff Duncan, our lieutenant governor here in Georgia. Check out some of his pictures. Well, let me tell you, they're George Hamilton look-alike. Too dumb. Too dumb or corrupt to recognize massive evidence of fraud in Georgia. It should be replaced. We need every great Georgian to call him out. So he should be replaced. So I'm going to read into Donald Trump is prepared to endorse someone else. Do you know who ran against Jeff Duncan in the last election? That would be former state senator, all right, David Schaefer, who is now on the president's good side, is my opinion, and he's the GOP chair of Georgia, and he's been fighting. He exposed. Let's remember that. GOP chair David Schaefer is the one that exposed the Fulton County State Farm Arena corruption that night when they got sent home. That was David Schaefer. But anyhow, he needs replaced. I don't know anything here if David Schaefer will run for office, but just saying. Are you too dumb? Could you see in some meetings with the lieutenant governor and everybody, were you too dumb to understand that? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's on number 27. Number 27, he at least says Georgia is not the only state that pushed through these last-minute rule changes before the presidential election. They forgot about our Constitution. And that's what Texas is taking on. And by the way, yes, we know it. 9 a.m. this morning, right? Supreme Court Justice Alito, at 9 a.m., there should be an announcement. I don't know if it'll be exactly at 9, but there should be an announcement very early today, maybe from the Supreme Court, if they are going to take on the Pennsylvania case. If they take on the Pennsylvania case, yes, Ted Cruz said, I will present the case before the Supreme Court, because he has a lot of experience doing that, Senator Ted Cruz does. I will take on the case before the Supreme Court, and I will try it. Wow, this is getting so interesting. Okay. Number 28. Now we're back to the rhinos. I told you yesterday, Trump has an elephant gun and he is dropping rhinos. I know, elephant gun, it's for Republican. Rhinos, Republicans in name only, okay? But Trump has an elephant gun and he's dropping rhinos right between the eyes with one shot, okay? So Rhino, Brian Kemp, the governor, Jeffrey Duncan, I can't do it without doing Jeffrey, like Jeffrey down there in Alabama. Remember Jeffrey Sessions? Jeffrey Duncan and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger will be solely responsible for the presidential loss. Sorry, not presidential, potential loss of our two great senators from Georgia, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, won't call a special session or check for signature verification. People are angry. Now, let me just say this. There's a couple things here. Let me stop right there for a minute. There's a couple things here in Georgia. If you're just now tuning in to Georgia, not only is there fraud in the presidential election, and people are angry. You need to pick up. People are angry. Okay. There's so much concern about the January 5th election and the corruption that's possibly surrounding that. When you hear that people want a special session, they don't want it just to appoint electors of Georgia, the 16 electors, to go to Donald J. Trump. Now, you may think, yes, that's what they want to do. And the Constitution provides for a direction to do that. I got that, okay? But a lot of people in Georgia want a special session ASAP to make some corrections. I say that lightly, corrections, so that in January 5th, they feel their vote counts and that Stacey Abrams and Fair Fight and ballot harvesting boxes will not steal this election again like Fulton County State Farm Arena. So there's a couple reasons here, and we'll talk to the speaker about that because people are angry. And we'll talk about that. The people are angry. Number 29, the Republican governor of Georgia refuses to do signature verification, which would give an easy win. That's wrong with this guy. What's wrong with this guy? What is he hiding? And I'm telling you, and let's go to number 30. This is the last one, okay, that I think we'll put up, number 30. Thank you, Emily. Gee, what a surprise. Has anyone informed so-called says he has no power to do anything, Governor Brian Kemp and his puppet? So now you have to ask Lieutenant Governor. The president has dubbed him a puppet. So you have to ask Lieutenant Governor, how can you sit in his office? Hey, this is Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. I'd like to see Senator so-and-so and so-and-so. And you're sitting there in the office. How can you sit across the desk from the guy, knowing the president, what he has dubbed him as dumb? Are you too dumb to understand this? And a puppet. And his puppet, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, that they could easily solve the mess and win signature verification and call a special session so easy. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics. Let's find out at 9:30 what the conversation was about between Georgia House Speaker David Ralston and the President of the United States. It is December 8th. It's what they're calling Safe Harbor Day. They have Joe hidden in the basement. Don't come out. You just have 24 more hours. A lot going on. Now, when we get back, we're going to drill down into something that you're going to want to follow and pay attention to. And I say that in all due respect, okay? Because we want to talk about not just State Farm Arena. We want to talk about how Mark Zuckerberg, pro athletes, the owners of these teams, we're going to dig a little bit. Who paid for those ballot boxes that you dropped 50 in, that you harvested where? From a homeless shelter? Take a break. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All right, we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics. Keep this all together, Emily. This is a segment, so we're going to go right into it. So start the recording. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics. Thank you for joining us at 9:30 this morning. Georgia House Speaker David Ralston will be with us, and we'll ask him what was said in 15 minutes with the President of the United States yesterday. So we're going to jump right into this. And let me ask you a question. First of all, let's remember something. At all cost, And I use the word cost because I believe it's at all cost. Let's remind you, Gabriel Sterling, the gentleman that comes out every day and does a press conference, the gentleman in Georgia that is in charge at Secretary of State's office for implementing the election, okay? This is a guy implementing the election. He's in charge of it. Comes out every day. This is the guy that was angry, so angry. We're going to tie all this together right now. He was so angry because, damn it, somebody's got to do something about this. And the president's rhetoric and hate and all this, somebody's going to get hurt, okay? Let's not forget number 32, who Gabriel Sterling is, the guy that at the Secretary of State's office in Georgia is in charge for implementing the election. This is from February 29, 2016. Tomorrow is an important day here in Georgia. I remind you, regardless of whoever your candidate is, to stop Trump, you need to vote for Marco Rubio. He is the closest in the polls here to Trump. This must be about stopping Trump. That is him, period. This is who he is. It must be about stopping Trump. And I use that for a reason because everything, this says it all. Everything must be about stopping Trump. Media, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey or whatever his name is at Twitter, all the big tech, all right, all the corruption had to be about stopping Trump. Okay? Trump must go because China has to get back in the door. Talk about that later. So that is Gabriel Sterling. Now, last week, you watched 2 Georgia Senate committee hearings. Well, maybe you didn't watch 2. I did. Yes, I'm boring. I watch politics 7 days a week. I just do. Okay? So that morning, as I said, last Thursday morning, there was 2 hearings. There was the morning, okay, where Germany, that's the Secretary of State's attorney, I forget his first name, he was there. Gabriel Sterling was there. Fulton County election official and the chairman, the commission chair of Fulton County was there. DeKalb County could not be there. And so that was the first half of the day. America did not tune in. They are not playing clips from the first half. In fact, a Georgia state senator said the first half will be more procedural. But it was the second half of the day. Let me ask you, do you know number 23? Go to 23. Because we're going to tie this together. Do you know who the Center for Tech and Civic Life is? Is that how you say that? Civic? Yeah, right. Sorry. Do you know who that is? We're going to get there, okay? So, in the second half of the day, we're going to play that first, all right? Now, this is State Farm Arena, number 6. Now, State Farm Arena is an enormous place. I mean enormous, right? And they want you to believe that the video we watched, because that was explosive. Last Thursday, the second half, lady comes up, says, hey, take us to 10:35. Now, move it here, right? And we watched them clear the room that night, okay? And say, everybody has to leave. And then when they did, we watched a video, okay, that they pulled suitcases out from under. Now, this one has them in a box, the media and all of them in a box because, the corrupt media in a box because every day they keep yelling, where's the evidence? You don't have evidence. You don't have evidence. This one really hurt. This was video. This was what you call at the State Farm Arena and where the Atlanta Hawks play in Atlanta. This is called the slip and fall video. It's all over. These cameras are all over the arena. And they use these cameras and this video in court when they're sued, and they call it slip and fall video. That's where it came from. Okay? So immediately they put the media on, it's been debunked, right? We've heard everything's been debunked, right? They put the media on saying, you didn't watch the whole thing. Oh, I even had, I had one elected official say to me, you know, I said, well, what do you say about this? And the person said to me, he said, you know, they're saying that we didn't watch the whole thing, and there's a lot more that meets the eye. What the hell? What do you mean? So we know this is not debunked, okay? And we know the minute we try to talk about it, the media, they just go, I mean, they get all bent out of shape the minute we try to talk about it. Now, I'm going to show you here. Give me really quick. I think give me number 7. We're going to stay focused here, okay? Number 7. Now, this is November, 4th. November 4th. Fulton County told our observers last night to go home because they were closing up and then continued to count ballots in secret. All right? This is November 4th. Is that Wednesday? Did we vote on the 3rd? This is immediately. The GOP chair of Georgia is yelling. We're at December 8th, Safe Harbor Day. This guy has been yelling this very loudly. And they finally got the video. It took that long to get the video from State Farm Arena to show what happened in that room to where we seen it when? Last Thursday. So, State Farm Arena, number 4, the home of the Atlanta Hawks. Georgia vote. Georgia vote. State Farm Arena, home of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, where do you see this at? If you go to this website, number 23, go to that website. Okay? State Farm Arena. Go to that website, Center for Tech and Civic Life. You will see that State Farm Arena right there. Okay? Now, I've asked who paid for State Farm Arena. Now, this guy, first of all, every time we talk about the suitcases, let's go to the video. I think I have it set up at 2 minutes and something in. I know we played it yesterday. Let me see which one it is, Emily. It's the one with ABC. It's ABC, George Stephanopoulos, and the senator from Indiana. Let's play that and come back to me. Can you find that one?
Department by the Attorney General. And the Attorney General came back and said there's no evidence of widespread fraud. So the process has played out, hasn't it? And there's no evidence of widespread fraud. Why can't you accept the results?
I think it's easy to say it's played out because that might be the most convenient thing to say. But let's look at what the Secretary of State did not mention in Georgia. You know, the video where after a counting place closed, you see boxes of ballots coming out from underneath the table. I know that's kind of a graphic example, but
well, I have to stop you right there. No, that it wasn't mentioned because it didn't show anything improper. He's spoken to that this week. That was exactly the proper process for counting the ballots. There wasn't anything wrong shown in that video at all. So you're just throwing out a claim out there that doesn't prove what you're saying.
You're just throwing out a claim that doesn't prove what you're saying. There wasn't anything done improper at all. Nothing at all. That is the proper way to count ballots. That's how you do it. You do it no other way. You send everybody home. You claim there was a water main break at the State Farm Arena where actually a toilet backed up. That was I have to stop you there. Every single time we try to get something, I have to stop you there. The media is working overtime. Now, like I said, I have to stop you there. All right? So State Farm Arena, stay with that. Now, number 5, okay? This is Chairman Rob Pitts, Fulton County Board of Commissioners, all right? Fulton County Board of Commissioners. He is the chair. So he was there last Thursday morning. You didn't see him in the afternoon, right? Because everybody the media focused on the afternoon. Even the right-wing media, those of us that are correct, the afternoon. I watched the whole thing. Because I'm going to tell you, COVID, when the president of the United States says COVID stole this election, they used COVID. It's so true, folks. This election is so corrupt. Now, pay attention to this. I'm going to play a little clip. Emily, it's the one that I say I want. I wanted it 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 30 seconds. This is something that most Americans did not watch. 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 30 seconds. This is Chairman Rob Pitts, Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Okay? Roll the tape.
Positives about the increased number of polling places by 91 since the summer.
Hi, I'm Cade Courtley, former Navy SEAL.
Oh, whoa. I know you got to get that commercial off there when you hold it so long. As soon as you can get that in the right spot, 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 30 seconds, run that immediately. Okay, Emily? Chairman Rob Pitts, Fulton County.
Into November. And the increase in personnel to work within those places. Yes. So, and I heard the number 3,000 and other things. So, who was responsible for the training of those individuals, and was that training conducted and completed, and if so, by that person that was responsible for making sure they had it?
Yes, sir. So we do have, within the county, we have permanent staff who did handle the training of those workers in compliance. Of course, we receive training from the Secretary of State's office, and our permanent staff then conduct the training of our poll workers. We also, some of those staff were technicians and received training, as I understand it, from Dominion directly. And again, under the supervision of the Secretary of State's office. All of the workers were trained. We had a combination. Anyone who was responsible for handling equipment received in-person training. We also had staff who you would call line managers. So they would be outside the place to remind people to have their ID, to manage the line, just the kind of customer greeting like you might have at Walmart or somewhere else to give people basic information. Those line managers in some cases received virtual training, but they were not personnel touching equipment.
Now, you brought up the Secretary of State's office provided the training. What they did is they provided the training to some of your permanent staff, the same way they do back in Columbus. And then it's the responsibility of the permanent staff to transition that training down to the individuals. But the Secretary of State's office did not actually do any of the training, did they? Correct.
They trained, as you just said, the permanent staff. So it was a train-the-trainer model.
Right.
So they would... The permanent staff received training through the Secretary of State, and they in turn trained those temporary poll workers.
Thank you. And how many drop boxes do y'all have in Fulton County?
We have 38.
38. And all of those are under video surveillance?
Yes, sir.
And have y'all had any requests for any of the video from any of those drop boxes that you're aware of through Georgia's Open Records Act or any other process?
That is a question I do not know the answer to. I'm not sure, Mr. Manager, if you knew, but we will certainly check on that.
Thank you.
Let me add one other thing about personnel and technicians in particular. Going back to the early election, there was not a technician at every polling precinct. That should have been the responsibility of the manufacturer, as is customary, I understand, and the Secretary of State. That did not happen. However, November 3rd, at the 255 locations, we had, on our dime, a technician at every location that we paid for.
Well, and Mr. Commissioner, the county is responsible for the election, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the investment was wise for the county.
Yes.
As opposed to, and it's actually, I believe, on the dime that it should have been on.
Yes.
And I do appreciate that.
Thank you, Senator. That's what I was afraid of. Senator Gooch, you recognized.
I didn't want to let you down. Commissioner, thank you for being here.
Okay, go to 2 hours. I want you to hear the training and whose dime it's on, okay? Go to 2 hours. I think that was that 2 hours, 36 minutes and 30? I want to go to 2 hours and 23 minutes and 30 seconds. Which one were we at? 2:23:30? I want to go to 2 hours, 23 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's go there. Thank you very much, folks. Just bear with me. I want to show this for particular reasons. If we can get that same video, thank you, Emily, at 2 hours, 23 minutes and 30 seconds, and see if this is the. Okay, then I guess if 2:23:30, then go to 2:36:30. If 2:23:30 is where we started, I'm sorry, then go to 2:36:30. Thank you, Emily. Go to the other one. 2:36:30. 2 hours, 36 minutes and 30 seconds. Go there if you could. See if that's where the second.
I recognize the Vice Chairman Harbin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm very interested. You said the NFL, the NBA, and the United were all partners. What does a partner do, and how does a partner participate in that process, if you would?
Chairman, would you like to speak to that?
What I mean by that is after the announcement of our partnership with the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena became public, NBA teams in other cities said, well, if the Atlanta Hawks can do this in Fulton County with their arenas, why can't we do it here? Because there was so much interest nationally in the election. So that's what I meant by that. So they partnered with us by allowing us to use that facility. The Charlotte Hornets, as an example, they did the same thing with their arena. The Detroit Pistons, then I switched, I forget exactly which baseball teams and which football teams did like. But in addition to that, and the professional athletes, and I say this, and I mean no disrespect to them, but many of them probably couldn't spell politics until this year, but they actually took the time to register and to vote and to get out in their communities and talk about the importance of voting. So what we started here has been a movement between the public sector and the private sector, government and our sports teams in particular. That's what I meant by that partnership.
And they also contributed staff.
That's right. In fact,
excuse me,
staff, the Atlanta Hawks, they had, when Steve Coonan called us, said we have about 300 staff people here that we're paying. So we won't cost Fulton County any money. We will pay our staff people. All you have to do is train them, get the equipment here, and train them, and they did just that.
Did you have any players active as far as participating volunteering?
We did, including Coach Pierce.
Okay. The other one is I was very interested in is a mobile unit. How does a mobile unit function? How is it used? I mean, is it every day it's going somewhere differently? Is it going to nursing homes? Is it going to places where large groups of people are? How is that mobile process done?
We had a schedule that was published. You want to?
Yeah. Thank you. The mobile unit is treated as a precinct that goes. Let me just back up and say before we had the mobile units, Fulton County has several colleges and universities within the county. So during our early voting period, we would go to Georgia Tech for a couple of days, Georgia State for a couple of days, specifically the public universities, because as you all know, early voting has to occur on either an election.
Wow! Colleges and universities. A mobile unit. Let's unpack all this. A mobile unit. Why, not only could your kids sign up for college and as they go to college, as they make their way across the courtyard and there's 20 tents set up wanting them to apply for their first credit card and run up debt that we need to pay later on in life for you. Not only can your kid do that, it's not a bookmobile. No, it's not a book. It's a mobile unit to go to colleges and universities. This is in the first half of the day. This is what was said to me as more procedural stuff. This is stuff that may be boring, okay? It ties right in to the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena and the video. Every bit of it ties together. Mobile units. Where are these people getting money to buy mobile units? Because you see, Fulton County, these are county elections. You have to pay for your election. Yes, you do. You have to pay for it. You have to buy your drop boxes. Yes, you have to buy them. They have 38 drop boxes. Where'd they get the money? The first video, I wanted you to hear the training. And how many drop boxes? Are they under video surveillance? 38 of them in Fulton County. Keep in mind, from Gwinnett to Clayton County, there's over 100 of these drop boxes paid for by whom? Is this where we use whom? Okay, but, right. Mobile units, colleges and university for early voting. You know those days that you could go early vote at 1? You see, the 14th Amendment says, what is it? Equal protection under the law. So in Gilmer County, we will use that. We had one spot. You go line up for 2 hours and you go in there and vote in this window of days. But no, Fulton County had mobile units. They could get to the nursing home. They could get to homeless shelters. They could get to universities. The mobile unit. Wow. Okay. Then who paid the 300 staff? Oh, we're paying them anyway. What kind of contribution is that to Fulton County? 300 staffers and the arena? Wow. I mean, this just gets deeper and deeper, and they want you to believe. The media says, I have to stop you there. Okay. Now, let's go back, and I'm gonna walk through this now. Let's go back to number 23. Now, keep in mind, 38 drop boxes just in Fulton County, okay? Between Gwinnett County, okay? Between Gwinnett County and, right, Clayton, there's over 100. Now, stop and think about this. That's why some people want a special session now. Do you realize the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, renewed them? He renewed the drop boxes. They were supposed to expire at the end of this year, but they've been renewed. That's right. You have to pay for them. Where'd they get the money? I want to see the video surveillance. I wish I had the money and the staff to pull all the video surveillance for every single day on those boxes and not take somebody off of them. Just watch that surveillance and see who showed up with what ballots and who showed up to pick up the ballots, when and where, and how many times the video went out or got fuzzy. I'd like to know that. But here we go. Center for, who are these people? Who are these people, as they say? Okay, now this comes out of an Atlanta Journal and Constitution article. Give me number 8. Now, this is out of an AJC article, and this is back in October. Let me see if I can find that. I had it here a minute ago. This comes out of an article on October 22nd, 2020. Gwinnett County commissioners accept more than $4.2 million in grants Tuesday. The bulk of the money intended to be used for election security. Okay? Gwinnett County commissioners accept more than $4.2 million in election grants. Grants. Now, see what happens in all of these counties is they have grant writers and they have people that come in and they say, oh, and your county too, folks. And your counties will take money. Oh, it's free. Oh, it's free. Oh, it's free. Where's it coming from? It's free. Well, you got to buy your own drop box. Well, we don't have money in the budget. Oh, we can get a grant. It's free. Well, get us a grant. We'll buy the drop box. Well, we need this. Well, get us a grant. Okay. Now, Gwinnett County Commissioners, this is in the AJC in October. Okay. The largest of 4 grants approved was $4.1 million given by the Center for Tech and Civic Life. Did we just say? A nonpartisan, nonprofit group dedicated to providing information to voters and helping governments use modern technology for election administration. The group has received what? $250 million in funding from Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. Mark is right in on it. Now, I'm wondering, if you get one of those grants, what could you use one of those grants for? Let's run all the way up to 22 really quick, okay? Number 22. And you could try to spread this one out, Emily. I know it's a different, and you got to size it and everything on the fly. How election offices anticipated spending the funds. Now, this is in the grants, okay? Ballot drop boxes. You can use the grant money for that. Drive-through voting, okay? Poll workers. I wonder if Zuckerberg helped pay any of the 300 people that were at State Farm Arena. You could use it for poll workers, a salary. Polling place and rental cleaning. Temporary staffing. Who falls under temporary staffing? Who the hell falls under temporary staffing? Real estate cost. Real estate cost. I'm sorry, that just flies my ass. Real estate cost. State Farm Arena, who paid for that? Mail, absentee, equipment supplies. Make sure you've got enough equipment supplies. You see how long that one is. Election equipment, voting materials in multiple languages, nonpartisan voter education. So that's what all the grant could be used for. So I decided to go to the website. I said, okay, let's go to the website because, man, there's a lot to see here. So I go to the website, and here's number 9, and we're going to go through this quickly, okay? And this is right on their website. This gets me. Celebrating Election Day Heroes. Election Hero Day. 2020 is a monumental year for U.S. elections. Election departments are installing thousands of new drop boxes. Clerks are rearranging office furniture to create space for social distancing. See, that's what we were sold under the guise of why we needed State Farm Arena for social distancing. Maybe it was to steal. This is right here for drop boxes. I said, okay, let me look a little further in here. Number 10. This is in their website, okay? Implementing mobile voter sites. You could use the grant money, Mark Zuckerberg, $250 million of it, implementing mobile voter site. Election officials understood the access to voting this year would be a significant challenge for those who recently lost their homes in the wildfire. This is supposedly in California, was their reasoning to put these in. But no, we find out what? Colleges, right? I'm going to go on. This is just some of the things. Number 11. Supporting people experiencing homelessness. Wow. Supporting people experience. This is all from their website. So they went to all these homeless areas. And I say this when all due respect, and they probably traded a bottle of hooch for their absentee ballot. I mean, seriously, really, right? You go to these tent cities under the overpass of the interstate, and you got, 100 people. Look, you got a bottle of hooch, you got an absentee ballot. All you got to do is fill it out. Say you live under the underpass. They can't say nothing about it. We have a grant. We're here. The kids are getting paid from colleges to go to the homeless places and find you and sign you up. No, I mean, this is in black and white. This is in black and white. Nothing to see here. Nobody stole no damn election. Number 12. Offering in-person, now this is not Georgia, but this is off the website, offering in-person early voting for incarcerated individuals. The nation's second largest prison, Cook County Jail in Illinois, served as a polling location this year. A polling location. You can't meet this up. Oh, no. No ballot harvesting, right? No helping Granny fill out the poll, the absentee ballot, number 13. Now, these are things you can use the grant for. You got to, in the spending, you can get this grant. Reaching voters in nursing homes. Number 14. How about this one? Partnering with sports arenas. Number 14, there you go. Partnering with sports arenas. This year, dozens of sports facilities will be repurposed as polling stations, since their massive size could accommodate thousands of voters while still leaving plenty of room for social distancing. And this is under, if you want to find it, number 15, 20 ways election officials increased accessibility during November election. Now this gets, is the word better? This gets better. Now you're wondering why people are concerned about January 5th election and why they want something done now before they go vote. So I thought to myself, and I'm digging in the website, and I'm like, I wonder if I could find out which counties across the United States that got one of these grants. Now, some of the grants are $5,000. Some, as you can see, Gwinnett is like $4.1 million, right? So I found it. Here it is. This is on their website. Here's the counties. Number 16, starts with Barrow County. Goes down. You've got Cherokee, Clayton, Cobb. All right. Then you've got DeKalb. DeKalb got one of these grants, number 17, right? There's number 17. Floyd, Forsyth, Gwinnett. We know 4.1 million. Jackson County. Lumpkin County even got one of these. Let's go to 18. Okay. Rabun County, Richmond, Troop. Look at 196. I know it's not very big, but I want to bring you back to this. You know who had a grant from this? And they sent in trainers, right? Trainers, people train. Ware County. Look, right? Does that ring a bell? Ware County, Georgia. This is the counties, folks. 43 counties in Georgia received a grant, okay? A grant from these people right here, number 23, okay? Received a grant, 43 counties. Center, right? And who put $250 million into that? Give me number 8, right? The group has received $250 million in funding from Mark Zuckerberg. Right? Now, he's not the only big tech guy that has money in this. We're just pulling him out. Okay? They knew what they were doing when they built this. This is all on the website. And let's go with what the grant could be used for one more time. We know the mobile units. So I want to run that by you just one more time. Number 22. When you receive the grant, ballot drop boxes. Sorry, Emily, number 22. Ballot drop boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Poll workers, look at how much could be spent on that, has been spent on poll workers. And real estate costs, temporary staffing. Look at employee and temporary staffing, ballot drop boxes. And all right, so we know that. Now let's move to, and we know there was 43 counties that received that. Here's where it gets better, I guess. Number 19. CTCL COVID-19 response grants available for Georgia runoff. The grants are out there for the runoff. Yes. Once again, more money for the runoff from these grants. Number 20, Georgia election offices may use the grant funds for costs associated with January runoff. Election equipment and supplies, personnel, voting locations, voter education. The application deadline is Tuesday, December 15th, from submitting materials to receiving funds. Georgia counties can expect the process to take about 2 weeks. Now, number 4, right on their website, State Farm Arena. State Farm Arena. Where did this corruption in the election that the media says we have to stop you there? Number 6, State Farm Arena. The Georgia vote counting video was not debunked. The media says we have to stop you right there. Seriously? It's not debunked. State Farm Arena. This guy right here, the Fulton County, give me number 5, commission chair says to America last week, hey, they gave us the arena and they gave us 300 employees and paid for everything. And it was on their dime. And they admit on the video they've got 38 boxes. So I'll close by saying Gwinnett, Forsyth, or Fulton. Gwinnett, Fulton, DeKalb, Clayton, over 100 of these boxes. Don't forget our mobile units that swing by the colleges and the universities and the homeless areas underneath the overpass and help pick up the votes. We're going to take a break. We're only about 25 minutes away from Georgia House Speaker David Ralston being with us. I hope this was informational because something has to be done. This is a tip. Michigan, oh man, this is the tip of the berg. Take us to break.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, 1 nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Folks, as we're getting ready for our guest this morning, Georgia House Speaker David Ralston, I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics. Let's run through a couple headlines that we're not going to be able to get into great detail on. We only got about 10 minutes where we're going to have to take a break and get the Speaker Ralston on here. But let's go to number one. Nothing like a good Chinese spy story. Number one there, how the Chinese spy slept with two mayors and targeted politicians, including one of the youngest members of the House, Tulsi Gabbard, before suddenly leaving the U.S. when she realized the FBI was onto her. China spy sex for secrets. Number two, Trump tweets video of Chinese professor claiming that Beijing can swing U.S. policy because it has people at the top of the American core inner circle of power, in clip that has been deleted from social media in China. Now, what he is talking about here, and this is talking about, I got up 3:30 this morning. I watched the 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Tucker Carlson did a really good job last night with this Chinese professor that was giving a speech. This clip has been deleted from social media, but they have it. They've authenticated it, and he talks about having to get rid of Trump because Trump was not Wall Street friendly. In the clip, it says, the guy says, and he's in China, and the guy says, Wall Street thought they could turn Trump. They thought they could get him to turn where they needed him to be, and they couldn't. That's why Biden is in. And they laugh and joke when they say, Hunter, yes, they're compromised, okay? Let's remember something. When we're talking to all of these politicians, and they keep telling you that they don't have the legislative authority to call a special session and grant, according to the Constitution, the electors to President Trump. Go with number three. Don't forget, take some time, look at this. How many states give electoral votes to popular vote winners, right? As of November 2020, it has been adopted by 15 states and the District of Columbia. These states have 196 of the electoral votes, which is 36% of the Electoral College and 73% of the 270 needed to give the compact legal force. It's not constitutional, but they're pushing to get enough states to get over the 270, and then California, the East Coast and the West Coast will always, with the popular vote, run the country. So quit falling for the legislative authority. If the Democrats get what they want, control, popular vote will take over. Yes, popular vote will win the presidency will always be in the Democrats' hands because they'll switch it to popular vote. Well, they don't have 60. They don't care. They're going to do everything with 51. They let it get away from them last time. It never will again. So the presidency will be done through what? Making sure the popular vote. So the East and the West Coast will always control the White House. How about the Senate? Control of the Senate. They'll add Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. That's four new senators. Moving right along. Just want to run through a couple more here before we have to run to our break. Let me get through this. Sorry about that, Emily. Let's jump all the way to number 35. Chuck Yeager died at 97. Legendary U.S. Air Force pilot Chuck Yeager died at 97. Number 36, this is important. When you get time, look up. George Soros put so much money into getting DAs elected across this country in strategic areas. Why? Who brings the charges? DA. If there's no charges to bring on anything, just get the DA. New Soros-backed LA County DA issues directive to not prosecute numerous crimes, eliminate bail. Here's one we like, folks. We know, hopefully, I don't know, I haven't seen any breaking news. Number 37, Texas Senator Ted Cruz to present Pennsylvania election lawsuit to Supreme Court if they will take it up. Number 39, Georgia recertifies Biden's victory after Trump-ordered recount fails. Okay. Number 40, and I want to get this one right here. Judge says no. He throws it out and he says, you want me to overturn 2.5 million votes who voted for Biden, and this I'm unwilling to do. So if he got 2.5 million votes and it was corrupt, that's okay. Let's go to the Speaker of the House of Pennsylvania, because we do know the President of the United States called the Speaker of the House of Pennsylvania, number 42, and this is Michael Straub, okay? Michael Straub he's the spokesperson for the PA Speaker of the House, Brian Cutter. So Brian Cutter is the Speaker of the House. We're going to have Georgia here. We are told that the President has called him twice. It was a conversation and briefing on the changes to the Pennsylvania election law, the impacts of the state Supreme Court on our election process, and what challenges are ongoing in court as a result of those investigations. All right. That's not what that says, but I'm going to move on. I'm sorry. Number 44. I want to get to this because I got to get to the break. Trump calls Pennsylvania. PA House Speaker Brian Cutter made it clear what powers we have and don't have as a legislature. How about those daggone powers the Constitution gives you? That would be very interesting. Take a break. When we return, Georgia House Speaker David Ralston will be with us, and we will discuss with him. We'll just ask him point blank, right out of the box. Take us through that 15-minute conversation with President Donald Trump yesterday. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics. Yesterday, we found out that the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, had placed a phone call to Georgia House Speaker David Ralston. We know the President has placed several phone calls, House Speaker of the state of Pennsylvania. But this morning, joining me right now, our guest is Georgia House Speaker David Ralston. Speaker Ralston, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Brian. I hope you are.
I'm doing great, and obviously we have a quick question that we can get directly to. We don't have to beat around the bush on this one. What took place? What are some of the highlights that you could share with us in that 15-minute conversation with the president yesterday?
Well, it was a very pleasant conversation. President was upbeat. He was very energetic, very positive. We chatted about some of the issues in the in the elections controversy in other states such as Michigan and Pennsylvania, Arizona. But he wanted to focus mostly on Georgia and to find out if, I think, get my take on whether there was still a path forward here. He's very much, his head is still in the game without question. I mean, he believes very sincerely and very intensely that he won this election, and he's letting the court cases play out, and also looking to see what avenues may be available, if any, through the legislative process.
All right, he wanted your take on a pathway forward, and you being the Georgia Speaker of the House, what was your answer? What is your take on a pathway forward? What was the president asking you to do? Any specific things, or just wanting to hear what opportunities are still out there that you may be able to do as Speaker of the House? What was the answer to that when he asked?
Well, obviously, he would like a special session of the Georgia General Assembly. He's been clear on that before, and he was clear on that in the phone conversation yesterday. I shared with him my belief that based on the understanding I have of Georgia law, that that was going to be a very much an uphill battle. We talked about one other possibility on that that I'd also talked about earlier yesterday afternoon, and I had a call from Mayor Giuliani, and we talked about some of those that legal issue in particular, and Mayor Giuliani believes that there is a legal path forward, and we're looking at that now, Brian, to see if there is something that we can do, because I want to be very, very clear on this point, and the president understands this, but I want to be very clear with our listeners today. There are, right now, my understanding has been there are two ways that we have a special session of the Georgia General Assembly. One is if the governor issues a call. I don't think that's going to happen. And the other way is if 3/5 of each chamber, the Senate and the House, petition for a call. The problem with that is that we appear to be at least 2 votes short in the House. I'm not sure what the count is in the Senate, but we're 2 votes short in the House because we don't anticipate getting any. Well, maybe we'll probably get 1 Democrat vote and no others. And if that's the case, then that path is blocked to us also.
I know your time is short, Mr. Speaker. Let me get through this. So you received a call from Mayor Giuliani, and also from the president. You talked about a path forward. Now, the name escapes me. I don't have it written down, but the constitutional professor last week that gave testimony in the Georgia Senate hearings said that the Article 2 of the Constitution supersedes the state constitution, which means you should be able to call the special session. But I won't ask you to take time to explain that. So I think there's a lot of people that maybe argue that point, but there's something here. You said a second path forward. You're not able to share with us what that looks like?
Well, that would be the path that that you just alluded to that was described by the constitutional law professor, Professor Eastman.
Yes, Professor Eastman.
Who was in Atlanta last week and testified before the Senate committee. And I'm not sure what that would look like. And I think we have to be, we got to be very, very careful here, because whatever we do will set a precedent. This issue of, can we come into session and disregard the fact that there's been 2 or 3 certifications, whether we agree with them or not, that Vice President Biden got, 12,000 more votes than the president, and just disregard that and send our electors to the president. That's something I think we want to tread very, very carefully around, because that could be used against us someday, as is this call for a special session.
Well, no disrespect. I don't mean to break in there, but when you say this could be used against us someday, I just want to reiterate in the president's tweets, not mine, and I think you know this because you're getting the phone calls and the email. People are angry. And when you say this could come back on us, I will say a lot of people don't care what may come back. They want to deal with what they feel is the fraud and the steal today, however means they need to. And you know what I'm saying on that. So I mean, when we hear that, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker?
I do, and I get. Look, I've gotten the emails, I've gotten text messages, I've gotten calls from my district and all around the state. In fact, all around the nation. And I've never seen in my public career the level of anger and concern that's out there now. People are very, very upset, and I get that. I'm upset. I told the president yesterday that one of the reasons I want to continue to look and be sure that we don't foreclose any possibility here is because I believe it is vital that he be reelected. His policies are good for this country, particularly when compared to the policies of the other party. And so I think that much of our country's future depends on him winning, and that's why I don't want to just lightly brush off any possibility that there is an avenue open.
I want to make sure there's 2 other bridges we cross here. March, and many Americans feel that this, along in other states like Pennsylvania and so many others, but in March, Secretary of State Raffensperger made a deal with the Democrats that we feel is unconstitutional, and that deal that was made with the upcoming election rules actually belonged to the legislative body in Georgia. You and I spoke I think it's April 1st of this past year, and you mentioned that then. I mean, how concerned are you that we're going into January 5th with these same kind of deals? And maybe people are saying we need a special session, maybe not just to appoint electors to Donald J. Trump, but to also correct things to make people feel that their vote is counted and their vote is safe actually come January 5th, because that's another thing. All eyes are on Georgia.
Well, you know, you will remember that you and I did talk about that. We talked about 2 or 3 issues that I was really the only one in Atlanta and around the state that was speaking out on. One of which was that consent decree, which you know, how that happened, I will never know. We didn't know about it in the legislature until after the fact. That's just wrong and unacceptable. The other thing that we talked about, which again, I couldn't find people to join with me because it didn't sound like something that would be important, is this business of the universal mail-in application, where Secretary Raffensperger was sending an application for an absentee ballot to every registered voter in the state of Georgia. Every registered voter. And, you know, I want our voting process to be accessible and open to everybody. But when you do that, you're opening the door for fraud. You're opening the door for all kinds of irregularities. And so I was very concerned about that then. I expressed my views to the secretary. He seemed to not think it was that big a deal. He said he wasn't going to do it in November, but the problem is that under the law, when he did it for the primary back in June, many of those people automatically were carried forward. There's no question in my mind that that made the difference in the Trump-Biden race in Georgia on November 3rd.
Well, I will say this, and I know you're aware of it. Now it's carrying through to January 5th, and people are very concerned about going out to vote with many of these rules like drop boxes. What do you expect to accomplish, or you think will come out of the House Governmental Affairs Committee hearings Thursday that you'll be holding? What do you expect that we will hear and see Thursday in those hearings?
I told Chairman Shaw Blackman, who chairs that committee, that I want him to drill down wherever the work leads them. I want them to look forward. The immediate objective right now is to make sure that people are comfortable that their vote will count on January 5th, that their vote will be secure, that there will be no illegal votes. So I'm not sure the specifics of what he's going to come back with. I know that there are some good ideas that have been churning around the last few days, and so I would encourage folks to pay attention to those hearings. I've told him I don't want any showboating. I just want people that are our members that go down there and work hard and dig down, and let's find out, you know, what we need to do to make sure that January 5th is a fair election. You know, and let me just say one other thing, Brian, before I have to go. I completely reject this notion that, and the president talked about this Saturday night in Valdosta, that some of his friends were saying, well, you know, don't go vote because your vote won't count and all this kind of stuff. If we take that attitude, then we might as well just hand over the keys to the U.S. Senate to Chuck Schumer. Because we're defeated.
I agree with you, sir. I agree with you, sir. And I know we agreed to an amount of time. I have 2 quick ones that'll be direct. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to sit down with Senator David Perdue, and I do have on video, and he reiterated and very strongly reiterated that he had requested, you know, Brad Raffensperger, Speaker of the House, requested his resignation. Have you considered anything like that where the Secretary of State's concerned? Have you thought about that in any way as far as the Secretary of State? Could you answer that for us?
Well, I think the Secretary of State's going to have to answer for his own decisions of what he does or does not do. I generally prefer that people, that the voters reject people or vote them back in. He's going to have to stand for election in 2 short years. It's on his conscience what he does. I can't make him resign, and only he can do that. And but there is going to be a reckoning day, and it's coming in the spring of 2022.
All right. The president said to you in the conversation, I don't want to quote it, but I think something to the reference that you said, that he said he feels he won Georgia. Now, I want to ask you, I know Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State, has certified this election 2 or 3 times now, and I understand the certification process. But going on what the president asked you or said to you that he won Georgia, do you think he won Georgia, Mr. Speaker?
I think you could make a case that he won Georgia. The problem is that there seems to be a belief out in the public that there is all this evidence that suggests that the election was rigged and it was illegal. And the truth of the matter is, and I've looked through most of that evidence, it's just, you can't just say that it is clear that he had the election stolen from him. There is enough evidence there in my mind that raises questions that need to be answered. And that's why I have kept, I've resisted the call to join on with others that are issuing statements supporting the outcome of the election. And because I think that we've got to answer and resolve all of these questions before we can know the answer to that question.
If you could find a constitutional way to do it, like we talked with Professor Eastman, you would be open to a session if you could find it in a constitutional way?
Absolutely.
All right, you're getting the emails and the phone calls, and I know you are, and I know I can just imagine what they're saying, and people are angry. So I'll just say to you, I would like to get back to Georgia being known as the #1 place in the country, for small business and for jobs and to do business. I'd like to get back to being the #1 place in the country to do business. And I say this all tongue in cheek, not the place to steal an election or have all eyes on us in a derogatory way. And I'm for sure we share that.
But absolutely. I mean, this is not a good moment for Georgia. And the only thing that will make it worse is if we send the 2 most liberal people we've ever had on the statewide ballot to Washington to represent us in the United States Senate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We know you got a busy day. We appreciate you for coming on and answering the questions.
Thank you, Brian. Have a good one.
You too. All right, folks, before we go to break and close up our show, I want to be clear with the viewers out there. I never is a big word. I never do an interview that I give the questions. I do not. Okay. I have had people in the past say to me, can you send a list of questions? I don't do the interview. That's one of my rules. I've been asked that. So I want to take my hat off to the speaker. He didn't set any parameters of what I could ask, and I don't do that. And I appreciate him, and I appreciate every guest that comes on because they know I will respect them. I will respect the office, but I will not give them the questions. And I appreciate House Speaker David Ralston. And let me give you another upside. He hasn't made the president's Twitter list yet. Take a break and we'll close up the show. I've got a final thought, so don't leave. We got something else we want to do.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, 1 nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Yes, folks, we're going to close up here December 8th. This is Safe Harbor Day. You make out of the interview with House Speaker David Ralston what you want. I didn't get a chance to go to my Senate David Perdue video, but you can find that on FetcherNews.com, my interview with Senator David Perdue. Yes, David Schaefer has sued. The Georgia GOP has sued, I think, Brad Raffensperger. Yes, we're hearing the president's tweets, not mine. I will just say this. Where was I at? Got him here somewhere. As we close, this is not where you want to be. You don't want to be too dumb or corrupt. Too dumb or corrupt. And let me go with 26 and close. It's 10 o'clock. You don't want to be Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. Now, there's a group of senators, where they need 24 senators to call a session. Sources are telling me that Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan is threatening, those are my words and the sources. We don't know that factually, okay? Don't want sued, but Duncan is maybe persuading senators not to get involved with signing any petition or coming out for a special session, and maybe using committee assignments, chairman. You know, you get a little extra money, there's little perks. Maybe taking chairman assignments of a certain committee away. That's our understanding. But I will tell you this. I, for one, do not want to be in a tweet from Donald J. Trump that says Georgia Lieutenant Governor and have my name, Jeff Duncan, and a tweet that says dumb or corrupt. Dumb or corrupt. Second, I don't want to be in a tweet that ever has anything like this, number 28. Rhinos, Brian Kemp, Jeff Duncan. Don't want to be in that kind of tweet, right? But I do know this. People are angry. I'm your host, BKP. It is Tuesday. We will be back Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, we will be back right here, 8 a.m. I have to go. I have a meeting. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, put our phone number up there, Emily, really quick. You can always contact me at that phone number right there and email me, text me. If you want to be on the show, you want your own damn show, send me a message. Let's talk. See you in the morning, 8 a.m. BKP out.